that was the Nigerian election. Labour Party candidate was the popular candidate, and a lot of people thought that he won, including myself. But you have a unique situation in Nigeria where the will of the people doesn't really matter in the election. It is just the will of the money. Where the money is, that's where um, the results go. The will of the people are so much suppressed in Nigeria, as you know. Now, so shortly after that election, that people thought that the Labour Party candidate in Nigeria won, um, Rishi Sunak tweeted to congratulate at official bat. That was on March 1st. I don't remember if the result was published already at this time. If INEC had announced the winner, I have to verify that because it took them about a week or so to announce the result, and it was announced at a clandestine hour when many same people are sleeping. INEC went ahead and announced this result around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So this was the message from Rishi Sunak congratulating our official back for that election. This didn't go down well with the people. Of course, people were not happy with, that announcement. And I don't think that P2P was thrilled either because they should have waited for the process to play out before rushing to that congratulatory message. But then in 2024, um, there was an election in the United Kingdom that was 2 days ago on July 4th. And leading up to that election, P2P tweeted his support for Labour Party. And he tells the people, vote Labour on Thursday, 4th of July. Change will only happen if you vote for it. So you can see exactly what is going on there. So P2P campaigns to support the Labour Party candidate. And many Nigerians are in the United Kingdom. There's I think about 141,000 Nigerians that immigrated to the United Kingdom in 2020, between 2022 June and 2023 June. That's a huge number. In fact, Nigeria accounts to about 12% of the immigrants in the United Kingdom, second only to India with 21%. But the people weren't really big at like this guy's from my country, like Sunak is Indian. No, they weren't big at that. People just wanted change because the Conservative Party didn't live up to their bidding in the past cycle. They had 6 or thereabout prime ministers over the last 5 years in the United Kingdom. So people weren't really buying what they were selling. As you can see, that there were about 141,000 Nigerians that immigrated to the United Kingdom over the past couple of months. Let's say over the past 12 months. That's going to be even way much more by the end of 2024. Because what happened was when the government came into power in Nigeria, these things. When they came into power, everything went from bad to worse. People went from the frying pan to the fire. Things were so terrible that many more Nigerians are immigrating. They call it Jagba in Nigeria. Many more Nigerians are Jagbaing, and the closest place for them to Jagba to is the United Kingdom. Many of them are going there, so they cause instability in the country, and then you have this syndrome they call brain drain. Many people are just rushing to the United Kingdom to settle down. And then what happens is once they come in and they have legal status, they can vote. And the people wanted to have a let out. They were muzzled in Nigeria, they couldn't vote in their own country. They go to another country that they just came over the last year or two and they can vote easily, peacefully. Vote for who you like. Why wouldn't Nigeria do that? For people to just vote for whom they like. So Sunak supported these guys that caused chaos in Nigeria, and people ran away from Nigeria to the United Kingdom to vote Sunak out. That's what happens. So there's this chain reaction. When you start something, you don't know how it's going to end. So he started something, and now it's not ending well for him. So he's been decimated. I think this is the worst return for the Conservative Party in over 200 years. This is the worst. And I heard that the new Prime Minister, Mr. Starmer, is the 5th Labour Party Prime Minister in the United Kingdom. The 5th in about 200 years. He's the 5th, Mr. Starmer. Now, I'm going to show something that I need Mr. Stammer to pay attention to. And I would like, Nigerians in the United Kingdom and other people, other well-meaning people in the United Kingdom. I'm going to need their help. I'm going to solicit their help to help me remind Sir Starmer. Sir Starmer. We're going to remind him of a promise he made a long time ago. Well, it's not so much as a promise as something he said when another person was the prime minister. He has spoken up on what he thinks they should do with I think it's Magnet Carta or so, Magna Carta uh, uh, law or something like that. I'll play it for you so you can hear from him directly, and you can remind him what he said. And yeah, we need to see action. So let's listen to him for a bit, and then we're going to see.
To stop those who are profiting from the wealth of that great nation and hiding it here. Now, some people will remember when General Gowon left Nigeria with half the central bank, so it is said, and moved to London. We know that today, even now, in this great city of ours, there are, sadly, some people who have taken from the Nigerian people and hidden their ill-gotten gains here. We know that our banks, sadly, have been used for that profit and for that illegal transfer of assets. And that means that the UK is in an almost unique position in being able to actually do something to really exert pressure on those who have robbed Nigerian people. Now, this puts a particular onus on the minister, and I know my right.
All right, so I'm going to just interpret so far, and then we'll continue because I don't know if you heard everything he was saying, but he's saying that the United Kingdom is in an enormous position to put pressure on those people that are profiting from the Nigerian people, so they can stop this madness. Right? They need to put pressure on these people to say enough is enough already. So let's continue to listen to him. He has a few more minutes, and then we can.
My honourable friend knows it. That using Magnitsky sanctions today isn't just about protecting Nigeria, although it is. It's not just about respecting Nigerian young people who have been robbed and murdered by these SARS units. It's actually about protecting the United Kingdom, because what happens in Nigeria matters fundamentally to us here. This is the third country of the Commonwealth. This is a country of 200 million people. It is going to be the great economic powerhouse of Africa and one of the great economic powerhouses of the world. This is a country whose wealth, not just in the oil of the river state, but in the imagination and creativity of its people, is witnessed every day in Nollywood and perhaps more my style at the great University of Jos.
All right. So as you can hear from him directly, so there's a lot that the United Kingdom could do. He was addressing the minister then, but now he is the prime minister. So I want to hold him up to that level that he, the bar that he has set for himself. Let him do something about it. I want a situation where Nigerian politicians, the thieving ones, are afraid to go to the United Kingdom. He can do that. Put pressure on them. There won't be another election for 5 years unless he does so badly. Then they can have no confidence vote. But I think if he does well and holds up to what he has been saying all along, then we should expect him to do something. At least do something about it, because many of the West, they just pay lip service to Africa, because as you are destabilized, you are creating an opportunity for the best among you to immigrate and run away from the country. That's just the truth. So when you destabilize your country, the best among the people will be wondering why they should sacrifice themselves for a situation, for a cause that nobody will recognize, and then they will run away to these other countries and make those countries great. And so it is to your advantage that you are destabilized. And people say, oh, the West, they will never let us stand. It is not true. They just trying. It's like a chess game. They are playing like draft. You push your seed here and see if they're going to take or not. So they're playing their games. You have to also play your game. Because just 4 years ago, so China was in your situation, Singapore was in your situation, Japan and other countries, they were even worse at some point in their past. But they stood up and said, we can play this chess game also. And as you start advancing, see that you're in a position of strength, then they can negotiate. But if you come in a position of weakness, and if they can pay you off like your local government chairman, your governors, and your presidents to keep a blind eye while they steal the country dry, why do you think they should do something differently? So the people have to rise, and you see what is happening in Kenya. I don't support the destruction of lives and properties, but the people had had enough. They know what is enough for them. They stood up and say enough is enough, and then they fought back. Right? We don't want people fighting. We just want people to stand up and say enough is enough. And we need good allies from the West. And I think that Labour Party candidate in Nigeria, Peter Obi, can liaise with the Labour Party Prime Minister in the United Kingdom to do something about Nigeria, not to influence our election. No, we want to vote for whomever we want to vote for, but we want them to hold our politicians accountable. We refuse them coming to your country on their whims for medical treatment when they can't fix their own country. Support them like you support Ukraine, sending them weapons, but instead of sending us weapons to kill somebody, send us tools to save lives. Send us equipment, MRI machines, all kinds of machines to save lives. Send factories into Nigeria to set up in Nigeria so that it can be exporting to you at cheaper rate, of course, because things are a little bit cheaper in Nigeria, so they can do it at a cheaper rate and export to you, and then it will be cheaper for you in your country, right? Try to support to create balance so that you can balance out immigration. People are not running away to come to your country, but they are coming there on leisure because they want to, like the United Kingdom traveling to the US and Canada or Australia and vice versa, because they just want to go there. They're not running away from insecurity or instability, but they're just going there on leisure and pleasure. Create the same situation in Nigeria where people can go there. If you see the beaches in Nigeria, in Lagos, in all kind in Port Harcourt, all parts of Nigeria, we have the riverine areas in the south part of the country. There are so many places to go. There are ranches to go to. There's Nikki Lake Resort in Enugu. There are so many places that people can go to for relaxation, for holidays, for sightseeing in Nigeria. Obudu Ranch is there. There's a lot of places to go to in Nigeria, but people are afraid to go because of insecurity. So help to stabilize the country. Start by putting pressure on the politicians to stop stealing from the people, and those that have stolen that in your country, send them back. Send the wealth, the commonwealth, back to the people. And the government, they can always decide what to do about it, but don't support the illegal ones. Don't support the illegal ones. And once the people see that you are not supporting them, in the words of Amechi, Rotimi Amechi, when they see these thieves being stoned, they will stop. But the thing is, they are not being stoned, not by the West, who is their ally in so many ways, like Sir Starmer has just mentioned, not by the West, not by the people. So we need to see you guys stand up to support Nigeria. Don't just pay lip service. Don't just pay lip service. This is time to hold yourselves accountable, and we have to help Sir Starmer to hold him accountable so he can stand up against his own people that are supporting this criminality in Nigeria, to say enough is enough already. Once this happens, you see things will change, right? You see things will change. So let us do that. Let's stop paying lip service to things. Let's take concrete action, right? Don't support any wealth without enterprise. Let the people do something, and whoever the people voted for, let the person be elected. If it's the worst of the worst, it's okay. That's what the people want. What we don't want is people stealing votes. Do you know that in every election, somebody must win? Somebody must win. But why must it be you? Just campaign and let the people decide. But in Nigeria, you hear them saying things like, it is my turn. You hear them saying, as the president of the country, I will give you a state. That is going through an election. What kind of inflammatory statement is that? So it's just, and you start by saying, you know who I am. Of course, people know who you are. We know how you got into power. We know everything. But we're in a country where people are docile or people are tired of losing their lives to these politicians, because they are similar. Let me not say all. Many of them are similar, because after the election they will hobnob and together and start sharing the wealth of the people. People move from their different parties to join one party because they can't stand being in the opposition, because they want to share in the loot. Except in this last election where the Labour Party candidate says enough is enough. I'm not going to join you guys. You need to have a credible opposition. Otherwise, the rest of them will just gather together and frolic together, and towards another election, they will start pretending that they were really fighting for the people, but it's only for their pockets. All right, we've interpreted for this election in the United Kingdom. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and yeah, it's been a while that I was here last. But I choose to just decide on what to talk about, because really this is not about just talking, but it's about bringing points home. And today I thought that it is important that we bring this point home, that what you do in one place can snowball into other things. There's a chain reaction that is triggered when we take certain actions. All right, until next time, I'm gonna see you later.